Good evening, baseball fans. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and our Glory Days Boxing Heavyweight Championship fight earlier did not last very long. So check that out if you haven't seen it. So got time to get in game number 5 of our 1921 New York Yankees payoff pitch replay as the Yankees take on the Boston Red Sox in game number 2 of their series from the Polo Grounds. And this game played on April 20th in 1921, an 8-4 Yankees win. And Jack Quinn will look to replicate that feat on the mound for the Bombers, and Alan Russell will be on the hill for the Sox. So let's get right to our starting lineups for the Red Sox. Leading off at third base, Ozzie Witt. Batting second and left, Mike Minosky. In right field, hitting third, Tim Hendricks. Del Pratt at second, Shane O'Collins in center, Stuffy McGinnis at first, Everett Scott at short, Muddy Rule behind the plate. And today's seventh inning fun fact will be about Muddy Rule, how he got his nickname, and a couple of other tidbits about his life in baseball. And again on the hill for the Sox, Alan Russell. For the homestanding Yankees, Chick Fuster leads off at second, Roger Peckinpah at short, Babe Ruth in left, Wally Pipp at first, Bob Musial in right, Ping Bodie in center, Aaron Ward in third, Wally Shang behind the dish, and as mentioned, Jack Quinn on the mound. Quinn in 1921 had an 8-7 record, a decent for that time, that year, 3.78 ERA. His opponent, Alan Russell, 7-11 with a 4.11 ERA in 13 starts. So we are ready to go. And Robert RJL 518 has joined us, as has Matt Steeler Fan. What's up, guys? Check out RJL's wonderful channel, and Matt Steeler Fan with his Dynasty featuring Glory Days Boxing in the Operation Sports Other Dynasty forums. So we're ready to go, and Babe Ruth again off to a very slow start in this replay, hitting only 2 for 14 thus far, which puts him at a very paltry 143 average. And at this point of the replay, Babe Ruth has fewer hits and home runs than pitcher Carl Mays, who's made 2 starts. Mays, hitting 500, has the team's only home run up to this point. So Ruth will look to get off the schneid again. And Philip Reynolds and Al Red Sox fan, you are not late. If you joined the fight late earlier, you were definitely missed most of the action. But this one just getting underway from the Polo Grounds. Welcome, both of you. Here we go. First pitch, Quinn to Ozzie Witt, and he's going to come out firing tough. And Witt is going to hit that into center field, and a long looping fly ball. Plenty of room out there to haul that in for Ping Bodie. 1 down. And that brings up the Mike Minosky. Minosky, the Red Sox left fielder, against right-handed pitchers, hit a even 300 in 1921. Jack Quinn has a sign, kicks, delivers, and that'll be a patient result. Minosky drives that into right field, and going back near the wall and making a nice over-the-shoulder catch is Bob Musial. 2 down for the Red Sox, and that will bring up Tim Hendricks. Hendricks did not start in the first game of this series, but he's in the lineup tonight. And that'll be an in-play result to Hendricks, and fly ball into right field. This one much routine, as camping under that is Musial. Side is retired. In order, we head to the bottom of the first inning. No score in this one, and the Yankees coming to bat. So Chick Fuster started the year at second base. Aaron Ward would go there later on in the season, and damn it, we'll re-roll that. So that's going to be a rare play. It would have been a tough result. So again, we will get out the rare play chart, Glory Days box, or Glory Days baseball. 1 moment. I actually put that in my chart up. Sorry about that. All right, so nobody on base, and let's see what we got. 89. And 89, that is going to be batter walks and goes to second base as the catcher argues the call. So Muddy Rule, who's going to be the subject of our 7th inning fun facts, commits a bonehead play to start this one, as Fuster is going to be credited with the stolen base, as Rule gets into a belligerent conversation with home plate umpire Bill Clem. And we move on. It's going to be an in-play result. Russell the Peckinpah and Roger Peckinpah is going to get a hold of that. Do we have our first run of the game? Blooped into right field. Runner on second scores. And yes. So the bonehead maneuver by Muddy Rule cost his team dearly here in the first inning, as Chick Fuster comes in to score. Would not have been on second base. That brings up the Bambino. And the Bambino, again, looking to get off the schneid in this one. That's going to be an in-play result. And Ruth drives that into the outfield. And the Bambino, sharp liner into center field. Runner on first advances one. So Alan Russell getting tagged early in this one by the not yet named Bronx Bombers. We'll bring up Wally Pipp. Still nobody out in the first inning. And going to be a ballpark result, and that's going to be wheelhouse for Pipp, the left-handed batter. Here he goes against right-handed pitcher. He's got a crack, and Pipp drives that deep to right field in the short porch. It is gone. A 3-run blast, and Wally Pipp coming a batter later than most people would have liked, but the 3-run home run still counts as the Yankees storm out to a commanding lead here in the first inning, and that is the second home run hit by the Yankees in this replay. As mentioned earlier, Carl Mays had the other. So Babe Ruth used to get his act going. Everybody is beating him in the power game, and Alan Russell going to get a patient result to Bob Musial, and Musial, it's going to be a fly ball into center field, and finally, gloved by Shane O'Collins, the Red Sox will have an out here in the bottom of the first inning. And just like the early ending to our Glory Days Boxing Heavyweight Championship fight, this one looks like it is going to be an early knockout as well. A tough result, 9-8. Ping Bodie drives that into left field. And going into the gap to run that down is Minoski. So 2 outs after the floodgates open with the first 4 batters. Brings up Aaron Ward, the Yankees' third sacker. And Ward, he's not going to end this inning yet as he singles into left field. And Russell, still no action in the Red Sox bullpen. 1921, a lot of pitchers still had to take their lumps. He has a fatigue rating of 6, so he's definitely not going to be around the whole game. 8 will be a tough result to Wally Shang, and Russell finally, he strike out to get out of the inning, but the Yankees come up with 4 runs on 4 hits, leave 1, and we head to the second inning. The Bombers in control early in this one, 4-0 over the Sox, and Del Pratt will look to get it going for the Red Sox, who want to chip away against Jack Quinn. And remember, they lost this game 8-4 in real life. It's going to be a patient result to Pratt. And Pratt, almost a beneficial result. Instead, it's going to be a routine fly ball into center field. And Bodie, as all 4 outs, he hauls that in. All 4 outs for the Red Sox have been via the fly ball early in this one. Quinn gets a sign, kicks, delivers in play, and that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. So 4-3 put out as Chick Fuster takes care of the second batter in this inning. We'll bring up former Athletic first baseman and member of that famed $100,000 infield, Stuffy McGinnis. And McGinnis is going to get the tough result, and he's going to drive that into left field, and the Bambino, his first put out of the game, as 5 of the 6 Red Sox outs have been via the fly ball early. We head to the bottom of the second inning. New York in control, 4-0. The pitcher, Jack Quinn, staked to a comfortable lead. He's going to start off the inning. And ballpark result, it's going to be wheelhouse. And Quinn got a little bit of dynamite in his stick, 49, and just misses a home run. That hits off the top of the right field wall, and Quinn going to motor into second base. He thought he had all of that. And Babe Ruth, if 2 pitchers get home runs before him, would not have been happy. Instead, it is a leadoff double for Quinn. Still no action in the Red Sox bullpen, and a patient result to Chick Fuster. And Fuster is going to draw, actually 58. Fuster is going to drive that into the gap, and that will be a double looping line drive. All runners score, and the carnage continues. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. Quinn was on second. So the Yankees vault out to a 5-0 lead, and that's going to get some action going in the Red Sox pen. Ben Carr, the right-hander, will begin to warm up. As Russell left his stuff back at the hotel, still nobody out. Peckinpah, Ruth's going to get another crack with runners on base. 7 will be a patient result. There's going to be 2 of them as Peckinpah draws the base on balls, and the stage is set for the Bambino. Nobody out. 2 on, 1 run already in. Here we go. The pitch. And 7 going to be a patient result, 0-9. And Ruth is going to draw another walk. So the sack's loaded with Yankees. Still nobody out in the second inning. And Russell is in all kinds of trouble. Already down 5-0. Wally Pipp, owner of a 3-run blast in the first, steps up and in play result. And Pipp, 47. Line drive to the second baseman, and all runners freeze. So a self-defense play by Del Pratt, and that would have scored at least 2 if it had gotten past him into the outfield. Bob Musial, the batter. And Musial in play result 92. That's going to be a fly ball into shallow left field. Coming in to take that on the run is Minoski, and not deep enough to bring home the run from third. So Russell may just extricate himself from this situation without any major damage. And 8's going to be tough. Coming in, ping Bodie in tight. Foul tip, strike 3 as the catcher holds on. So Russell again dodging a severe or major bullet there. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he pitches his way out of that. Unbelievable. But the Yankees plate 1. We're through 2 innings, and the Bombers lead this 5-0 over the hated Red Sox as Everett Scott set to lead off against Jack Quinn. Let's check in with the chat. And Philip Reynolds, yes, Garrick did replace Pipp at first base. Pipp sat out for a headache, and that is a lesson to all. Never call in sick to work. You never know if you get your job back. And Pipp actually was a very solid player. Not definitely the superstar that Garrick was, but he was a consistent 280s, 290s hitter, and did a serviceable job at first base. So by all means, would have been an asset to many other teams. So top of the 3rd inning, Everett Scott, and Everett Scott's going to get a patient result, and he is going to draw a base on ball. So first base runner for the Red Sox. As Scott trots down to first, they're going to have no tomfoolery trying to steal. They want to chip away, get back into this game. Muddy Rule, the batter. And tough result. Rule, swing and a miss. And Jack Quinn. The ball had a funny break to it, and Rule is questioning the legality of that pitch, but he's heading back to the dugout, strike 3. And Russell, despite the fact he's down 5-0, still going to hit. Not going to go to their bullpen this early. And Russell, he comes through with the first hit of the game for the Sox. So redeeming himself as he bloops that into right field, and runner on first goes to second. In right field, the Musial has an arm of 7, which is average. And Scott has a run rating of 7. They are going to take a chance. So Musial comes up throwing. Scott on his way to third, and Musial guns him down at the Red Sox. Not a wise decision. 9-5 on the putout. 2 down and top of the order. Trailing 5-0, should have played that conservative, but the Red Sox looking to make something happen. Jack Quinn now 2 outs, runner on first base. Tough result, 46, and 46 is going to be a ground ball down to third. A routine play for Aaron Ward, and side is retired. So the Sox get a hit and a walk. Leave 1. No runs scored as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Yankees holding the commanding 5-0 lead. I will never get sick of saying that through the entirety of this game as Jack Quinn set to face Ozzie Vitt. Patient result, and Vitt drives that into left field. Hit on a line. I'm sorry, that was Minoski into right field. Hit on a line towards Musial, 1 down. Tim Hendricks, the batter. Not the Oakland Raiders linebacker. And Hendricks, the pitch, it's going to be in play, and that's going to be a fly ball, lazy fly ball into right field. Musial, second put out in a row, and Quinn has the fly ball pitch working in this one. Del Pratt, the Red Sox cleanup hitter, steps up to the plate. Oh, for God's sake. I did the exact same thing I did in the first game. Okay, I'm going to catch myself. Yankees are up in the bottom of the third inning. My goodness. All right, we'll start over. Sorry, guys. Ballpark result to Russell, and probably would have been better just letting the Red Sox hit again, as that's going to be wheelhouse. And Aaron Ward against the right-hander, 79. And 79 will be a shallow fly ball to center field. I cannot believe I did that. Wally Shang, the batter. And 8's going to be a tough result. Shang, ground ball down to second base. So 2 quick outs for Russell here in the bottom of the third. Jack Quinn, the pitcher. And wheelhouse, a big swing by Jack Quinn. He drives that one into the ground. Easy play for the shortstop, Everett Scott, and side is retired. So finally, that is the third inning. We head to the top of the fourth. Yankees lead 5-0. And let's try this again. Mike Minosky set to lead off the fourth against Jack Quinn. And in play result, and it's going to be a little bit different this time as Minosky leads it off with a single, and that would serve me right. Karma as Tim Hendricks steps up. Quinn gets a sign, kicks, delivers, and another in play result. And sure enough, that's going to be a double. So Quinn is going to one-hop the wall, and all runners come around to score. So there you go. I deserve that for trying to cheat the Red Sox. A run-scoring double. Boston is on the board. It is 5-1, and that brings up the cleanup hitter, Del Pratt. Pratt, defensive check, our first of the game, and that's going to be a range check in left field where the Bambino resides. He has a range rating at C, and he's going to run that one down easily. Great play by Ruth out in left. One down, runner on second base for Shane Collins. Collins grounded out to second base his first time up. And here we go, an in-play result, and Shane Collins comes through with a double. So the Red Sox strike back here, 2 runs in the inning, as coming in to score is Hendricks. And it is now 5-2, the Yankees in the lead, and Stuffy McGinnis, the batter. McGinnis flew out to Ruth his first time up. Here comes a pitch, in-play result, and McGinnis, it's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, and runner at second will hold as Peckinpah makes the play. 2 down, runner in scoring position still for Everett Scott. Here comes a pitch, and Quinn, another in-play result, and Scott pops that up into foul territory, wandering over just past the line to haul that in is Wally Pipp. So side is retired, but the Red Sox get revenge on my cheating by scoring a couple of runs on 3 hits. Leave 1. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning. And your score, New York 5, Boston 2. Chick Fuster, top of the order to hit against Alan Russell, who is still on the hill. And Russell's going to get a defensive check. That'll be an error check on the right fielder. Out in right field with an error rating of 3 for the Sox is Hendricks. And Hendricks bobbles that and hangs on before it hits the ground. So he made a harmless fly ball into an adventure before finally making the play. Yeah, Al, are you still in the chat? You haven't been doing a lot of broadcasts lately, buddy. We miss you. As Peckinpah facing Russell, and 6, that'll be an in-play result, and Peckinpah is going to drive that one off the wall, and a 1-out double. So Ruth will have yet another chance for an RBI, and he has not really been the run-producing machine yet in this replay that he was in real life. We'll give him a chance, and Patient, 47, he is a on-base machine, though, his second walk of the game. So Ruth actually has been on base all 3 times, a single and 2 walks today, and that brings up Wally Pipp once again. And Russell, next time he comes up, he's due up second in the 5th. This will definitely be his last inning. Wheelhouse result to Pipp, and another big swing. Pipp drives that deep. Is it deep enough? No, just short of the wall. Hendricks makes the catch. And Peckinpah, though, is going to tag and go to third, so sacrifice fly for Pipp. And runners at the corners for Bob Musial, 2 down. Tough result to Musial, and 45, and Russell comes up big with a strikeout to get out of the inning. So the Yankees get a hit and a walk, and strand 2. We are through 4 innings, Yankees 5, Red Sox 2. And we will make our pitching change now because Russell is not going to get to hit. Ben Carr, who has a long relief trait, is going to be the new Red Sox pitcher. So closing the book on a very poor outing by Russell. He goes 4 innings, gives up 7 hits, 5 runs. Every one of them was earned. Going to walk 4, strike out 3, and he gave up the 3-run blast to Pipp, almost another to his counterpart, Jack Quinn. All right, so Carr finishes his warm-ups. We're ready to go. Muddy Rule, who again will be our 7th inning fun fact, leading off the 5th for the Sox. And that'll be an in-play result, and Rule drives that into right field, right at Musial, though, who makes the one-handed catch. Showing off a little bit there. We're going to have a pinch hitter now for the Red Sox. And it will be the left-hander, Nemo Leibold, former White Sox player. And he started the first game of this series. So Leibold facing Quinn. Left-hander waits for the pitch, and 5. That'll be a tough result. 62, and 62 will be a fly ball into left field. Babe Ruth comes in a few steps, takes that, and 2 down. Back to the top of the order now. Ozzie Witt. Witt today has flown out to center field, grounded out to third, 0 for 2. Quinn seems to have recovered from that shaky 4th inning. And in-play result, and just as I say that, Witt gets a hold of that, yanks it down the line, rattles around in the corner. He's going to have a stand-up 2-out double, and the Sox in business again with a runner in scoring position. Minosky looking for a little 2-out lightning. Here comes the pitch. In-play result to Minosky, and that is going to be 2-out lightning. Witt only runs it a 6, though, so we'll go to the card. Line drive into center field, runner on second base. 1 plus the opportunity to score, and a 6 and an arm of 5 out in center with Bodie. Not going to chance that, so we'll be runners at the corners. And that brings up Tim Hendricks, and Hendricks drove in a run in the 4th and also later scored. Here comes a pitch. Patient result to Hendricks, and 88. And Hendricks is going to draw the base on balls. Unbelievable. 1 to 89, and the sacks are loaded, and suddenly Quinn on the ropes as the cleanup hitter Del Pratt steps up to the plate. And here comes a pitch, tough, 12, and that's going to be a bases clearing triple. Del Pratt drives that deep into center field over the head of Ping Bodie. By the time he tracks it down, everybody has scored, and standing at third with a 3 RBI, 3-bagger, the most exciting play in baseball, is Del Pratt. And guess what, folks? We are tied at 5. Unbelievable. 2 out still. Quinn rattled. Wally Shane goes out to calm him down. 9 is going to be an in-play result, and finally he will get out of the inning mercifully with a ground ball down to second base. But the Red Sox come back from the verge of extinction. 3 runs on 3 hits and a walk in this inning, and we're heading to the bottom of the 5th. We're all tied up at 5. And suddenly we have a brand new ball game, and the new pitcher of record for the Sox will be Ben Carr. Let me just check up on the chat real quick. And actually, there's a lot of, especially with COVID going on, I have a hard time. I listen to videos throughout the day while I'm working. You got Race 6 going film, special announcement coming up Friday, so check out Philip Reynolds' channel for that. And yeah, Quinn staying on for the Yankees, Philip. Ben Carr is the new pitcher for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the 5th. And Keith, I'd actually have to check that out. The Yankees and Red Sox rule, which we'll talk about in the 7th inning, was a Yankee the year before. And the Red Sox and Yankees, of course, had a big off-season trade where a rule went to the Red Sox. I'm not sure if Pratt was or not, but I can check on that. So Ping Bodie set to lead it off, and it's going to be an in-play result. And Bodie, not very good in play there, but he's able to fight that off for a single opposite field variety. So the Yankees have a base runner on here in the 5th. And that brings up the 3rd sacker, Aaron Ward. In-play result to Ward, 37. Just misses that, and that is going to be a harmless pop fly behind second base. Thought that was going to drop, but scampering back to pull that in is the aforementioned Del Pratt. And 1 down, runner on first. Wally Shang, the batter. And Shang will get the in-play result too, 36. And he pops it up as well into shallow center field. And this time it's going to be the shortstop, Everett Scott. So 2 pop outs and 2 down for Jack Quinn, the pitcher. He's had a rough couple of innings. They're going to leave him in, though. Here it comes, in-play result 29. And Quinn, base runner at first, is a 7. That's going to be a 2-out single, so that pays off. Quinn, a decent hitting pitcher, hit 240 against righties, which is not terrible for a pitcher. So runners at the corners now, 2 outs, and Yankees, Chick Fuster, looking to give the Bombers the lead again. 7 in-play result. Not going to get it done, though, as that's a line drive right at second base and an easy out for Pratt as the Yankees get a couple of hits, but strand 2. We're heading to the 6th inning. It is 5-5, all tied up. D. Scott Howard has joined us at the ballpark. Welcome, D. Scott. And I didn't officially say hello to Keith White. And Bears Den 007 is with us as well. Welcome, gentlemen. We have a barn burner thus far as we head to the 6th inning. And Quinn still on the hill for the Yankees, and patient to Stuffy McGinnis. 59, McGinnis is not, though, and that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. So ground out to Fuster to start the frame for the Sox. That brings up the shortstop, Everett Scott. Scott today is 1 for 2, is walked, popped out to first base. Here comes a pitch by Quinn, and we're going to have a defensive check, always an adventure in 1921. Range check on the second baseman, and Fuster, his range is an F, which is absolutely horrid, and right at the tip of that, he's not going to get to that. It skips off his glove, a 1-out single. And that will bring up the catcher, Muddy Rule. Rule today, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout, one of the few Sox that has not gotten in on the action. 63, though, he's going to do it now as he takes a patient pitch and drives that into the outfield. Long single into the gap. A runner on first advances 1 base. So 2 on, 1 out, and the pitcher spot is up. Carr is a decent hitting pitcher, though, 255. And this is a slugfest. They can't go to their bullpen anymore early in this one. They're going to let him hit away. 5 will be a tough result. 49, swing and a miss, and a mistake potentially as Carr takes a big cut, but Quinn able to blow that by him. Letter high, 2 down for Aussie Vitt, top of the order. Vitt is 1 for 3 today, double and a run scored, and it's going to be another defensive check. And that will be an error check on the shortstop, and with an error rating of 3 at short, Roger Peckinpah. 48, and he is going to boot that, and that will be a one-base error on the infielder. And once again, the sacks are loaded. E6, first error of the ball game. And Jack Quinn cannot get a break, and Waite Hoyt is up and throwing furiously in the Yankees pen. He had to skip his start in this early season due to a series of rainouts. So there was 2 in a row. So he'll be ready to go if Quinn cannot get past Minoski. And here comes a pitch, in play result, and Minoski. It's going to be a ground ball down to second, and Quinn able to pitch out of a jam this time. 2 hits for the Sox. They leave the bases loaded. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 5-5, all tied up. And Roger Peckinpah set to lead it off for the home team. 10 will be a ballpark result. Ruth would have loved that. Peckinpah is going to get a wheelhouse chance here against the right-hander. 25, and Peckinpah drives that off the top of the wall just down the right field line. He's going to have a leadoff double. And for Peckinpah, he is 3 for 3 today. 2 doubles, a single, and a walk. So the Yankees in business as they look to take the lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It is HR time, and Babe Ruth is the man to hit it. Here we go. 9, patient result, 57. Instead, Ruth is going to draw his 3rd walk of the game. Red Sox pitchers want absolutely nothing to do with the Bambino today. 3 walks and a single for Ruth, and Wally Pipp, who has a 3-run home run in the first, steps up. 6, going to be tough, 85, and Pipp grounds that down to second base, and 6. That will be actually that's above both pitcher and batter double play rating. So that's going to move the runner second to third. And Wally Pipp puts that in the right spot, 4-3 on the putout. Yankees have 2 runners in scoring position, only 1 out. And Bob Musial, who is 0 for 3 and also off to a slow start in this replay, can he come up big for his team? Patient result, 45, and Musial, that's going to be a single. Will that bring in both runners? And runner on second advances only 1 base. That was hit too hard, but a run comes home, and Yankees have regained the lead 6-5. A clutch 1-out RBI single by Musial. Runners at the corners for Ping Bodie. Yankee center fielder 1 for 3 today is singled and struck out. In play result to Bodie, and 67 will be a ground ball down to second base. And again, infielders at double play depth, but that's going to move the runners along as it's above the double play rating. So 4-3 on the putout, but Bodie gets credit for the ribby, and the Yankees now extend their lead to 7-5 here in the 6th inning. Aaron Ward, the batter. And the offense we've come to expect in this replay in 1921. And Aaron Ward gets all of that. That's deep into center field. Shane O'Collins going back, leaps over his head. And Ward around second, coming into third base. And scoring on that is going to be Musial, and the Yankees. The 1-out triple or 2-out triple now take an 8-5 lead as Ward gets the RBI, and the Polo Grounds. A ballpark 4 triples with that expansive center field. Wally Shang, the batter. And Carr looking for a place to hide. That's going to be an in-play result to Shang. And ground ball right back to Carr. Tosses it over to first base. And inning is over, but the Yankees storm back. They get 3 runs on 3 hits and a walk. They leave 1. We are through 6 innings. The Yankees lead this 8-5 in a slobber knocker. And coming up with the 7th inning, Quinn still on the mound. Going to face Tim Hendricks, Del Pratt, and Shane O'Collins. And the Yankees want to get 1 or 2 more innings out of Quinn. Hoyt is ready to go if needed. Tough result to Hendricks, and 72 will be a fly ball into center field. Easy play, can of corn out there for Bodie, 1 down. And remember, after this half inning, our fun fact about Muddy Rule, the Red Sox and former Yankees and future Senators catcher. Here comes a pitch, and patient result to Pratt, and 43, and Pratt gets all of that, drives that into the gap, and it eludes Musial. He tracks it down. By the time he gets it back in, Pratt standing on second base, a 1-out double. So the Sox not going away. They were down 5-0, fought back to tied at 5. They now trail 8-5. And defensive check in 27 does not bode well at all. It's going to be an error check on the left fielder, and Ruth with an error rating of 3. It's going to come in, tap the glove, and drop it. So going over to third base is Pratt and Collins on courtesy of an E7, and Quinn not happy with Ruth. He needs a strikeout or a double play ball right here to get out of this situation. In play result to McGinnis, and that's going to be a ground ball down to short, and not good enough. That's going to move the runners along, so coming in to score will be Pratt. Going to second base is Shane Collins, and the ground out RBI goes to Stuffy McGinnis. It is now 8-6. And this will definitely be Quinn's last inning. He's due to lead off the 7th. He's going to be pinch hit for. An in-play result to Everett Scott. And finally, Quinn is out of this one as well. A fly out to shallow center field. But the Sox fight back. That will go down as an unearned run, as the runner should not have been on third base there as a result of an error. So the Red Sox get a hit and a run as we head to the 7th inning stretch. New York clinging to an 8-6 lead, and we will get our pitching change done before we do our fun fact. All right, Wade Hoyt will be the new pitcher, and pinch hitting when we come back to action will be none other than the ex-Philadelphia Athletic Franklin Home Run Baker. Let's close the book on Quinn, though. Not a very impressive outing. He goes 7 innings. Surrenders 10 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. He started out so good, too. Set down the first 6 batters he faced. Ended up striking out 2 and walking 2. So Hoyt will be on in relief. He'll try to get the save, and Baker will pinch hit. All right, let's go to our 7th inning fun fact, and today's fun fact is Harold Muddy Rule, the catcher of the Red Sox, and as mentioned, former Yankee catcher and future Senators catcher. So first off, as I normally do, I'm always interested in where some of these nicknames come from. In our last video, Sad Sam Jones' nickname had a rather mundane origin. Muddy, there seems to be several explanations. One was the most logical one, as he got it as a kid, coming into the house one day covered in mud from playing outside, and his father looked at him and said, "Well, there's Muddy," and it just stuck. Another version attributes his nickname to having mud splattered on his face from catching a thrown ball that was made out of mud in an obvious prank. And the final version is that the nickname Muddy originated due to Rule's use of dirty language when trying to get in the heads of opposing hitters. Historians have generally said it was probably one of the first two, as Rule was not known as a prolific user of bad language along the lines of guys like Frank Chance and John McGraw. And in fact, many people say the strongest words Rule ever used was a rogue or a dadgummit if he was extremely upset. So more than likely, one of the first two, I would tend to guess it was a result of getting dirty as a child. Another fact about Rule, not so much a fun one, but Rule, again, as mentioned, was a Yankee in 1920, and he was actually behind the plate when Carl Mays threw the fateful pitch that struck and killed Ray Chapman of the Indians on August 16th of that season. And Rule, there was a lot of talk that Mays had intentionally tried to hit Chapman. And again, as I mentioned in our last video, Game 4 of this replay, Mays was not well liked in the majors, known as a dour character who played dirty, not at all a popular figure amongst teammates or opponents. Rule, however, defended him and stated that he felt that it was clearly just a tragic accident, that Mays was not trying to kill Chapman and just trying to jam him as Mays squared to bunt. So At least in his eyes, Mays was exonerated of intentionally throwing at Chapman's head. Finally, as Rule wound down his career, he actually spent most of his life in baseball. At one time, he was a special assistant to the commissioner of baseball, Happy Chandler. That was during the Warriors 45 and 46. And he was kind of in a, I guess, special advisor role where he would travel around the country to promote baseball and kind of proclaim the benefits of staying physically fit using baseball as an activity. So more or less an ambassador of the game. After that, he also spent time in different roles in St. Louis and Cleveland, finally ending up in Detroit, where he was the farm director and finally the general manager. He was there between 54 and 56. The Briggs family sold the team in October of that year, and he was changed from general manager to special advisor under the new owners. At that point in time, he decided to take a one-year leave of absence and took advantage of that to take time to move to Italy so his children could study abroad. And at some point during that sabbatical, he decided that he was done with baseball and resigned and retired for good. Muddy Rule died in November of 1963 at the age of 67 of a heart attack. So there you have our fun fact, Muddy Rule. And he will actually lead off the top of the 8th. But now it is time for Carr to face Franklin Home Run Baker as the Yankees look to pad their lead. And in a play result, and Baker's going to come through with a leadoff single in the bottom of the 7th inning, batting for the pitcher. And the Red Sox do not have anybody up. They are shallow in the bullpen, so it looks like this is Carr's game to ride out as Chick Fuster is the batter. Baker, not straying far from the bag, does not have the speed he had as a younger player. And here comes a pitch, and Carr, inside fastball. Fuster takes it, calls strike 3. So a big pitch locks him up, 1 down. And that brings up the shortstop, Roger Peckinpah. And D. Scott said he always called him a ruddy mule. The starter in this game was, for Boston, was Alan Russell. And he did not get out of the 4th inning, unfortunately for him. Yeah, heart attack and fun fact don't really go together. Neither does the fact that he was behind the plate when Ray Chapman got killed either. So we'll just say 7th inning fact. 4 is going to be a patient result to Peckinpah, and Peckinpah draws the base on balls, and that's going to bring up Ruth again. And again, the Red Sox have avoided him. They've walked him 3 times in this game. Let's see if Carr's going to pitch to him this time. Here we go. 7 is going to be an in-play result, and 46. He comes out and pops him up, and Ruth a big swing, but it's going to die behind first base, and pulling that in for the second out is Stuffy McGinnis. So the Bambino took a mighty hack and just got under that a little bit. Wally Pipp today has that 3-run home run in the 1st inning, in-play result to Wally, and that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. Side is retired. So the Yankees leave 2, a hit and a walk, and we're through 7. Excuse me. Your score in New York 8, Boston 6, top of the 8th. Wade Hoyt, the new Yankees pitcher, in, and he's going to face Muddy Rule in the pitcher spot. Ballpark result, and Rule, he's going to get the wheelhouse chance. Big cut, 66, and Muddy, a mighty hack, but it's going to be a harmless ground ball down to second. So he is retired, and we're going to have a new pitcher for the Sox and a pinch hitter. Yeesh. All right, Ernie Netsky is going to be the pinch hitter. And the new pitcher next inning will be Hank Thormalon. Couldn't have an easy name like Hank Smith, could you? All right, so we'll close the book on Carr, who was on the hook for the loss at this point in time. He ended up going 3 innings. Gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs. Walked 2 and struck out 1. And we'll just call him Hank T. Actually, Matt, if you're still in the chat, go look up how to pronounce this name. Thormalen. And Netsky will be the pinch hitter. And we are ready to go. So 1 down for Netsky. Here comes a pitch from Waite Hoyt, and that's going to be an in-play result. 95 will be a fly ball into shallow left field for Ruth. Puts that away easily, and 2 down, top of the order as Hoyt, making short work of Boston thus far. Ossie Vitt will be the batter. And Vitt today is 1 for 4. He's doubled and scored, reached on an error his last at bat. Going to be a tough result from Hoyt, and getting a hold of that and grounding it down to shortstop. Peckinpah makes a nice play in the hole, plants his feet, throws. 3 up, 3 down. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Yankees still leading 8-6. As Thormalen set to face Bob Musial. This is one guy I absolutely know zero about. Never heard of him before I got this card set, actually. It's going to be a tough result, and 67. Swing and a miss, Musial, so he's good enough to get Bob, as Musial does not make very good contact in that tough column against right-handers. 1 down for Ping Bodie. Here comes a pitch, and another tough result, and throwing BBs, Hank Thormalen, 2 strikeouts. And that will bring up the 3rd sacker, Aaron Ward, who had a run-scoring triple his last at-bat. And this will be a patient result, and Ward will draw the base on ball, so a strikeout or walk so far for Hank T. As the catcher, Wally Shank, steps up to the dish. And we're going to have a defensive check, 99. That will be good no matter what the result is. It's an error check on the 3rd baseman. And at 3rd base is Vitt, who has an error rating of 4. He's still going to make that play easily, though, and side is retired. Yankees, no hits, no runs, no errors. They get a walk, leave 1. And we head to the top of the 9th inning. It's going to be last chance for the Sox. Minoski, Hendricks, and Del Pratt. Here we go. Hoyt had an easy 8th. Gets a sign, kicks, delivers, and that's going to be a fly ball into center field. And going back a few steps, Ping Bodie has time to camp out, haul that in. 1 down. Tim Hendricks, the batter. Hendricks today is 1 for 3. He's doubled and scored, walked and scored, also flown out to center and right. Hoyt gets a sign, and it's going to be a tough result. Hoyt bends off the curveball. Hendricks way out in front, strike 3 called. So 2 down as Hoyt looks to go 6 for 6 and get the save. Del Pratt, last chance for Boston. It's going to be a patient result, and it's not over yet as Pratt draws the base on balls. Tying run comes to the plate in the form of Shane Collins. If you're wondering, Collins, 4 home runs in 1921. Going to be an in-play result to Shano, and that's going to be the ball game. Pops it up, and not even moving from his position, calling everyone else off, and making the grab is Chick Fuster. Ball game over. The Yankees hang on. So in the 9th inning, the Red Sox get a walk, but leave the runner on first. And the Yankees are going to take home their 2nd win of the series, 8-6, in a back-and-forth rock'em sock'em game. Our final line score: Red Sox, 6 runs on 10 hits, no errors. The Yankees, 8 runs on 13 hits and 2 errors, and a ton of walks, too. Babe Ruth had 3 of them. We're still waiting for Babe's first home run of the series, but the Yankees get the win. The winner is Jack Quinn. Moves to 1-0 on this replay. Waite Hoyt gets the save, his first. And loser for the Red Sox is Ben Carr. And that is it from the Polo Grounds. The New York Yankees go up 5-0, let Boston back in it as they tie it at 5. Come up with a 3-run sixth inning, highlighted by a triple by Aaron Ward to drive in the final run of the game, and they hang on for the 8-6 victory. So thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat at the ballpark here. Robert, RJL 518, check out that great channel. Again, Matt Steeler fan, has the Glory Days Boxing Dynasty going on Operation Sports. Philip Reynolds doing some racing. Al, Red Sox fan, check out his great channel as well. Pine Tar, Strat-o-matic, Glory Days Boxing, Title Bout Boxing, anything you'd want is on Al's channel. Keith White, thank you for checking in, my friend. D. Smith, welcome, and I think I missed you earlier, so thanks for stopping by the ballpark. Our good friend D. Scott Howard as well was in the ballpark. Bears Den 007 joined us. So we had a full crowd at the park tonight, and appreciate everyone supporting the channel. Until next time, keep rolling for the home run, and hope you all have a great night. We'll see you. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming.